Ever opened your door and found a dead bird waiting there? Like some horrifying little welcome mat? Almost everyone reacts wrong in the next 30 seconds, and that reaction either deepens one of the strongest bonds your cat can offer you, or it quietly teaches them to stop trying altogether. There's one specific mistake almost every owner makes without even realizing it, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why your cat may have already stopped doing this, and whether you can undo it. Let's start with why this happens at all.
1. It's not a gift, it's a lesson.
In the wild, mother cats do something researchers have documented for decades. They bring prey back to their kittens alive and injured so the kittens can practice killing it themselves. It's not generosity, it's a curriculum. Built into the species over thousands of years because a kitten that can't hunt doesn't survive to adulthood. So when your adult cat drops a dead mouse, a bird, or a bug at your feet and just sits there watching you, they're running that exact same program. Except now, you're the student. Here's the part that stings a little, and it's worth sitting with for a second. They're not doing this because they think you're impressive. They've watched you fail to hunt every single day of your life. You open a loud box and food just appears. No stalking, no crouching in the grass, no pounce. From where they're sitting, you're a fully grown adult who somehow never learned the most basic skill an animal needs to survive. And here's the twist most people never think about. Instead of writing you off as hopeless, they decided to fix it. That's not pity, that's commitment. Cats don't waste effort on things they don't care about, and teaching takes effort. Stalking, killing, carrying, timing the delivery for when you're actually home to see it. The mouse on your doormat isn't an accident, it's a project, planned and executed specifically for you. So if it's a project, who gets one and who doesn't?
2. It also means you made the cut.
Here's something that might change how you look at this moment entirely. Cats don't do this for just anyone. This behavior is reserved almost exclusively for the humans and animals they consider part of their actual social group, what would be their colony in the wild. Prey delivery and similar caretaking behaviors cluster tightly around bonded relationships, not random interactions. A cat that barely tolerates you doesn't bring you anything. A cat that's indifferent to you doesn't either. This is reserved territory. And very few things get invited in. Translation: your cat isn't just tolerating your presence in the house. They've mentally filed you under family. And this is the same category of behavior that gets directed at kittens, at bonded housemates, sometimes even at other pets they've fully accepted into their circle. So the next time you find a dead moth on your pillow at 6 a.m., understand what you're actually looking at. Not a mess to clean up. Proof that out of every human they could have chosen to ignore, you made the list. But before you get too comfortable with that theory, here's where it gets more complicated. Because not every delivery means the same thing. And if you can't tell the difference, you're about to make the exact mistake this whole video is building toward.
If this video made you see your pet in a whole new way, give it a like and subscribe. Let's help other pet owners realize just how deep their bond with their furry friends really is. 3. Sometimes it's not a lesson at all. It's an invitation.
Not every gift is hunting practice. Sometimes your cat brings you a sock, a bottle cap, a crumpled receipt, a hair tie, something that was never alive to begin with, and drops it right at your feet, then looks up at you expectantly. That's not teaching. That's an invitation to play, just dressed up as a delivery. Here's how to tell the difference in about 2 seconds, and it comes down to what happens right after the drop. If your cat drops the item and just stares at you calmly, almost patiently, that's a lesson. They're waiting to see what you'll do with it, the way a teacher waits for a student to try the problem themselves. If instead they drop it and immediately get wound up, tail twitching, body low, ready to pounce again the second it moves, That's play. They're not testing you. They want you to throw it, kick it, drag it across the floor. They want the game to continue. Missing this distinction is exactly where a lot of owners go wrong. And it's closer to the mistake I mentioned at the start than you'd think, because how you're supposed to respond to a lesson and how you're supposed to respond to an invitation are two completely different things. Treat a lesson like a toy or a toy like a lesson, and you send the wrong signal either way. And that wrong signal part? That's actually the whole rest of this video. Because what you do in the next few seconds after either kind of delivery is the single biggest factor in whether this behavior continues at all. Quick pause here. Because this is the part almost nobody gets right. And it's the reason I started this whole video with a promise. If you've ever wondered why your cat used to bring you things and just stopped, the next 2 minutes are going to answer that directly. Stick around, because this is where it actually gets uncomfortable.
4. Your reaction in that moment matters more than you'd guess.
So what do you actually do when a dead lizard shows up on your welcome mat? Here's the instinct almost everyone follows. Recoil. Maybe yell. Maybe scold the cat for making a mess on the floor you just cleaned. And here's exactly why that backfires. Your cat isn't reading your words. They don't understand gross or why would you do this? They're reading your energy, your tone, your posture, how fast you moved, how sharp your voice got. A loud, negative reaction gets filed the same way a hiss from another cat would, as disapproval, maybe even as failure. Some cats shrug it off, others respond by simply stopping. Not because they gave up on hunting, but because they gave up on you specifically as a student worth teaching. They tried to pass something on. It got treated like garbage, and they adjusted their behavior accordingly. That's not stubbornness. That's a completely logical response to what looked, from their side, like clear rejection. Here's the part that most videos on this topic skip entirely. It's not just about not yelling. It's about actively closing the loop. The correct response, according to most cat behaviorists, is almost embarrassingly simple. Stay calm. Offer a quiet acknowledgement, a soft word, a slow blink, maybe even a small treat if you want to reinforce it further, and then discreetly deal with the delivery once your cat's attention has moved elsewhere. You're not rewarding murder, and you're not encouraging your cat to bring you more dead things on purpose. You're telling them, in the only language that actually registers, message received. And that brings us to the mistake I've been building toward this entire video.
5. Here's the mistake that quietly ends it for good.
Remember what I promised at the start? Here it is. The single most common reason cats stop bringing gifts over time isn't age, and it isn't boredom, even though those are the explanations most owners land on. It's punishment. Even mild, well-meaning punishment that doesn't feel like punishment to you at all. A stern voice. A toy snatched away and thrown in the trash in front of them. Being shooed out of the room immediately after they deliver their prize, before they even get to see what you do with it. None of that feels like a big deal from where you're standing. But to your cat, that's not correction. That's rejection of an offering they worked to bring you. Sometimes stalking it for 20 minutes in the yard before they ever made it to your doorstep. And cats, unlike dogs, don't forgive and retry endlessly. Dogs will offer the same behavior over and over, optimistic that this time it'll land differently. Cats adjust, and they adjust fast. Some stop delivering to you specifically and start leaving things in less risky spots instead. A shoe in the closet, under the bed, somewhere you won't immediately react and shut them down. Others just stop the behavior entirely, for you and for everyone in the house. So if your cat used to bring you things and doesn't anymore, it's worth asking yourself honestly, what did they see on your face the last time they tried? Because somewhere in your reaction, whether you meant to or not, you probably already answered a question they never got to ask out loud.